What's good, people? Welcome to the Wagner Wire. I'm your host, Adam Wagner. The Wagner Wire is sponsored by Maximum Fantasy Sports. Maximize your fantasy football potential with Maximum Fantasy Sports. Stop by MaximumFantasySports.com and experience free fantasy football. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. We just want to thank all you guys for tuning back in again. We got a dandy for you again. We're going to pay tribute to Pat Summitt and Buddy Ryan. We lost those two icons in sports who were definitely influential and impactful in their respectful sport. We're going to touch on them, and if you guys are, if you're viewing the show, and tweet at us at ATWagner3181 and at the Wagner Wire. We'd love to hear your input too on maybe their influences, what they might have meant to you. I know for Pat Summitt, at least for me, I was hearing some testimony a little bit on ESPN radio this morning, and people made some good points. I didn't realize how impactful she was just at the University of Tennessee. We're talking about Pat Summitt, the recent the recent passing of her death at 64. She spent 38 years as the female coach of the Tennessee Volunteers, the Lady Vols. Took them to 8 titles. I remember seeing this ESPN documentary when I was a kid, back when Shaniqua Holtzclaw was there. This was back in the 90s, I believe. And her son was real little too. I remember her son being a little kid on the documentary as well. And they were talking about just the type of leader she was and female influence, just to be strong and stand up for yourself. I didn't realize how much that she had done. I knew that she was a tremendous coach, but the testimony that I heard this morning was about what she had done as far as in the beginning to get it all started, to pretty much be the pioneer and carry on a tradition for Lady Vols. She at the beginning, the gestation period of her basketball career, she was washing the clothes for the team, for the female team, and she was also driving the bus. The institution, the university, couldn't get bus drivers to shuttle these girls around to play their sports, and she was the backbone, man. She pretty much did it all. So huge shout out to Pat Summitt. Again, we really, our thoughts and prayers go out to her family. She was diagnosed with the sort of type of dementia, I believe in 2011. I should have all the facts, but I believe 2011, and I think she retired 2012. But again, just sad day. She passed. We lost another icon with Buddy Ryan, as I mentioned. My memories of Buddy Ryan. I guess I was kind of too little, too young when the 85 Bears were going around. I was born in 81. I remember the Bears and the Super Bowl shuffle and all that, but I didn't realize just how dominant of that 85 Bears team was. It was the old 6-4 defense is what they used to call it. Or I'm sorry, 4-6 defense. It's one of the best defenses of all time. To honestly be rivaled and compared to the Ravens. The only other team pretty much better than that was the 2000 Ravens. So I really want to share my experience. But the first experience that I have of Buddy Ryan was that the Houston Oilers game. I don't know if you guys remember that, but you all remember when I'm a Giants fan, so Kevin Gilbride came to the Giants. But I just remember Buddy Ryan in this whole debacle of the Bills coming back or whatever. Buddy Ryan is just over there decking Gilbride in the face, and it just had the red. It was so cold, but you could see the redness of where Buddy had hit him. Buddy had got him a few good shots in there, and I just that's the first memory of Buddy Ryan. And I just remember looking at my dad and, God, who is that? That's the defensive coordinator for the Oilers. He punching out the offense coordinator. I guess that's a happy married couple, right? Anyways, we all know that Buddy went to coach the Eagles, and his reign, him being not too many defensive coordinators are carried off after a Super Bowl, but Buddy Ryan was with that '85 Bears team. So again, we lost two sports icons today. It's just a sad day. So the show's going to be about 30 minutes again. We just want to. I'm not done with this whole Kevin Durant. Him leaving Oklahoma City Thunder. I called in, talked to Dickerson and Hood the other night, or last night, in fact, and had a discussion there, and they pretty much were on board and agreed with most of the stuff I had to say. $22 million in cap room so far, what I can see that the Oklahoma City Thunder have to spend, and Nicholas Batum pretty much costs $20 million. So odds and ends. I'm not an accountant, and nor do I work for the Oklahoma City Thunder, but I think that this guy should definitely be a target, especially what he brings. He brings a really decent outside shot. He's got some limbs that he can extend with and close down shots on the defensive perimeter, on that 3-point perimeter. When you go small, especially with this trade now between Oklahoma City and Orlando with Ibaka and Oladipo, you got Russ at 1, Poe at 2. If you go get Batum, you got Batum at 3. You got Durant at 4, and then you got Adams at 5. That's small. That's Oklahoma City Thunder going small. Ain't nobody going to compete with. Maybe Golden State, but they're losing Harrison Barnes too. They want. Ain't no way Harrison Barnes is going to get paid just as much as Iggy on that team, or more than Iggy on that team, or Bogut's probably going to walk if they try to go get Kevin Barnett or Kevin Durant. Kevin Barnett's a friend of mine, and earlier today he put out a meme making fun of my DFS breakdowns, and he was giving me some stuff. He obviously had one too many before noon, but he's a good guy. He's joining his vacation. He's going to be contributing for MLB here on the Wagner Wire, so I can't wait to have him on. But yeah, that's why his name came into mind. Sorry, but yeah, Kevin Durant. There's just no way that he could go to Golden State without them losing, a good part of their team that makes them so deadly. That do the back end stuff of that team. We all know that they have Curry, they have Thompson, they have Draymond Green. But what's going to happen if they get rid of those guys and get Durant? They'll only have 4. Now they'll have Iggy still off the bench, but still, man, Durant ain't going nowhere. So I just want to put all this to bed. If you guys got any type of scenarios of where you think Durant might be going or not, go ahead and tweet at the at the Wagner Wire. You really got to convince me here, because I don't think that the trade between Poe and Ibaka would have went down without the blessing of Durant. I just don't think it would have happened. You got to believe that he's in on everything that they're doing, especially in a crucial time to make a move. You don't want to influence him the wrong way. Now everybody's also countering me with why are they shopping? Why is he out shopping? And Jonathan Hood made a great comment last night about it. It's the experience. He's shopping. He's never been shopped like this. He's never tested the market like this. Does he need to go to a big market? No, but I mean, it's I don't know if he's necessarily sending a sign to Oklahoma City thinking that somebody's going to get me, or there's another bigger fish out there, a bigger market that's going to land me. No, I don't think he's saying that at all. I think he just wants to test. He wants to feel it. He wants to experience the wine and dine period. He's a talent, a sheer talent that should be paraded or wined and dined to get interest or whatnot. I would. I mean, I would love to see this guy on the Wizards, but it's not going to happen either. There's talk about him going back to his hometown and playing playing in front of that Washington Bullets crowd. That old relic crowd. No, that's not, man. He's not going to the Wizards. He's staying put in Oklahoma City. It's a good fairy tale, him going back home and playing in front of his hometown, but it's not going to happen. His team is there in Oklahoma City. Not many people. I think people are overlooking the friendship between he and Russell Westbrook. That's a true tandem. I mean, that's like the dynamic duo if we've ever seen one. I mean, people say that Jordan and Pippen, they were a tandem. Yeah, absolutely. They were probably one of the best. Stockton, Malone, they're one of the best. But you can't look past this tandem of Westbrook and Durant. I think when it's all said and done with, if these guys stay together for their career like Stockton and Malone did, they could potentially just put numbers up, that surpasses Stockton and Malone. Anyways, moving on Messi. More Messi talk. You heard Sergio Aguero come out and pretty much back the statement that Messi made about potentially retiring for the Argentina national soccer team. I don't know what's going on there. You got two star athletes, two star premier soccer players, at the top of their game. The two of the best in two different leagues. Aguero with Premier League and Messi with the Spanish Premier League. To have two of those types of players to want to leave the national team or just retire from National League play, there's something into that story. I need to dig a little bit more, and I promise I'll get that story for you guys. But I just can't. I originally thought yesterday that he was speaking out of passion just because he was feeling heartbroken and crushed because he lost, and for the fourth straight time in national play, he can't win a title with Argentina. I don't think it's Messi. I think a lot of people put pressure on Messi, but if you looked at that game, it was 10 on 10. There was a lot. The pace was amazing. It was up and forth or back and forth down the field. Aguero missed shots. Higuain missed shots before Aguero came in. Messi was still breaking down four defenders and I think missed two shots maybe, and then he gets a lot of criticism for the PK that he missed, but I mean, God, that's after 120 minutes. 120 minutes. You try and go out there and have fresh legs, and a lot of other people missed more than Messi. That's all I'm saying. And to hear people. Sportscasters, I'm not going to name any names, but to hear sportscasters, question his leadership for his national country, that's just absurd. If I was Messi, I would probably also have mixed feelings about wanting to play for a team that doesn't really appreciate me. There's always been that shadow of Diego Maradona, and never being able to live up to the hype of him. Whatever. Messi's world class. Argue me and you'll lose. Moving on to that. All right. Wrapping up the last half of the show, we're going to talk about some DFS breakdowns. I got to tell you, I really like. I really like some of the picks tonight for up in Colorado. You're gonna have some of the biggest bats with Donaldson and Saunders going up against pitching in Colorado. I want to say it's Johnson's pitching against Baltimore. Excuse me, I left my sheet on the printer like an idiot. Anyways, so you got Johnson and Donaldson and Saunders batting for Toronto up in Colorado. I really think that they're gonna have some big bats tonight. What I want to talk to you about is pitching, though. I think Quintana is probably the best arm tonight. He offers good salary relief. He's going up against a team that the Twins that are really struggling. He's going up against Gibson. Gibson's got an ERA of 6.05, I believe, and he doesn't even have a win. So you got to wonder, what can Quintana get for you within the 4 years? He's been decent. He's got a 5-7 record this year for the White Sox. You got to like the offensive run support that the White Sox can offer him. I think that's the arm that you want. And then as far as bats, Cabrera in that game, Melky Cabrera, I think he's a definite steal, a good find around the 3,000 cap. I think he offers good salary relief, and especially with that lefty righty matchup, or he can switch hit. But also some more bats. I don't want to sound impartial because I love my Birds and all that, but Trumbo, baby, you got to go with Mark Trumbo against Johnson out there in San Diego. He's only faced him twice, but he's 2 for 2, and he's got a home run. I also like Chris Davis going up against Johnson. Davis in his last 7 games is hitting around 340. Again, I wish I should just be able to pull this up, but I don't want to mess this computer screen up here. But anyways, Crush is hitting around 340 over the past 7 games, 345, I believe. He's got 2 home runs, 2 doubles, 5 RBIs. Or I'm sorry, 9 RBIs, around 5 runs, if I can remember off the top of my head. But that's just some of the guys that I like. Now, of course, you're going to have to switch some people out, depending on rain outs and whatnot, and roster confirmations. But another guy that I think people should keep their eye on is Bryce Harper. Now, over the years against Harvey, he's going up against Matt Harvey tonight. Bryce Harper, I think, has a .96 batting average against Matt Harvey. Matt Harvey pretty much owns this guy. But I got a funny feeling that Harper's going to go off tonight like a bomb. And I just see Matt Harvey. I see his dead arm getting rocked, and it's got to be by Bryce Harper. That's one of the ones that came off to me that stood out to me. I also like Seager. I like Seager out in Miller Park. I like of course I love when people go into the Brewers to play, but Seager, he's been hitting. He's a home run threat, and that's what you need. You need your guys that are going to get you 28 points consistently all through down that roster. I mean, there's 9 slots. You got to figure a 200 card is probably going to get you to competitively within the top 10 spots of a GPP card. That's the card that you really need to focus on. If you can get those guys that can land you your 28s, your 30s, that have good salary relief, that can allow you to land one of the big boys, which is Donaldson is probably one of my most expensive guys. Saunders is probably one of my most expensive guys tonight. It's going to be tough to get them all in there, but I really believe that you can find some salary relief. Another guy for 2,100, 2,100. It's the guy on Tampa Bay, and he had one hell of a breakout night last night. He's raised his batting average at least damn near 40 points, but it's Arcia. I think this guy, for 2,100 on FanDuel, provides you really good play. I mean, he's 243, on the season, 115 ABs, 28 hits with that gives you that 243. The guy's got 5 home runs, 6 doubles. He's got some multi-base hits, extra base hits, 16 RBIs going up against Porcello tonight. He's got that lefty-righty combination. You got that matchup going for him. I like it. The 393 against Porcello for 21. Take the flyer, man. Absolutely. Take the flyer. All right. What else we got? Like I mentioned Harvey. I think Rendon's pretty good relief at third base for 2,700. Bryant had one hell of a night last night. Chris Bryant, one hell of a night last night, going 5 for 5 with 3 home runs. I don't think any other Cubs done that in the longest time. But yeah, for your catcher now, past 2 times he's been out there, he's been solid. Or past 3 times out there, I got to go with Ross, man. David Ross, going up against Cincinnati. You got that righty-lefty matchup. He's going up against Lamb. Lamb's got a 4.78 or 4.78 ERA. Ross on the year, 245, 6 home runs. Not that threatening, but 2 of those 6 home runs have come over the last 3 outings that he's had. So he could be seeing the ball a little bit better, could be rested up. Maybe he had some injuries ailing him. Like I said, it's good. 2,300. Ross is your guy whenever Lester's pitching. Obviously, they have a good rapport together, so a good relationship. So I really believe he offers some good relief. Not many catchers besides Posey or Wilson Ramos are that big of threats of home runs. I mean, you got Salvi Perez. He's always good, and my boy Matt Wieters as well. But they're up around the 3,000 mark, man. Here you can get something. And Posey's like 4,000 at times. Here you get some David Ross for 2,300. I like it. It's a good, safe pick. You got the righty-lefty matchup. He plays on a highly offensive caliber team. They're always producing runs. Why not put him in there? He's probably going to be hitting 8th tonight in that spot. He's not not the biggest threat, but definitely get you some runs. Get you some points in there. As far as everything else, like I mentioned, Seager going up against Anderson. Anderson with that 5.13 ERA. Seager on the year 298, almost 300 on the year, 16 home runs. Got that lefty-righty matchup, and it's in Miller Park, man. And you hear all these old ball players talk. Kevin Millar is one of them that jumps off the list at me right away. Always talking about how the ball flies in Miller Park. I don't know if there's like a suction out there, but the same thing is to speak. You can say the same thing for the Rangers Park. The Rangers has that like vacuum at Arlington. I'm talking about the Texas Rangers at Arlington. The Rangers has that vacuum almost that pulls the ball as soon as it gets up in the air. It almost just like grabs it and pulls it out past the field, the wall, man. I just really think people tend to hit home runs better in certain types of parks. Miller Park is one of them. Texas is one of them. Any park on the East Coast. I'm referring to the AL East. That's except Tampa. They're parks. They're all hitter friendly parks. And when the line, the home run line, the home run fence, the margin of error is small. Although, speaking about this, you got to watch the park in San Diego, Petco Field, man. That's a big park. It doesn't play well for Davis and Trumbo, but as we've seen on the year, Trumbo he can hit the ball anywhere, man. He can hit the ball to outer space if that's where the fence was. Anyways, we're gonna wrap it up here. Again, we're sponsored by Maximum Fantasy Sports. Stop by MaximumFantasySports.com for some free commissioner football leagues. Maximize your fantasy football experience with Maximum Fantasy Sports. You can reach them on Twitter at Max Fantasy, or stop by www.MaximumFantasySports.com. Again, it's for free fantasy football leagues. And look them up this upcoming NFL season. All right. Thank you guys for joining. We're going to end the show today a little early. Have fun. It's summertime. I'm probably going to enjoy myself a nice plantation tea. I don't know if y'all know what that is, but it's a little lemonade with a little bit of vodka in there. It's kind of like an Arnold Palmer. You know what I mean? Lemonade, tea, vodka. Don't threaten me with a good time. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. This is the Wagner Wire. Woo!